Hello, welcome back. Welcome to my minced tartlets. Alright, these are heaps fun to make. So you can either make these up as little things to serve out at parties, or I just make them up and everyone just smashes them as they are, and you can add veggies and that with them. You can do them however you want. They are so cool. They're heaps of fun to make too. Alright, so what we need is 500 grams of mince. We need 1 cup of corn kernels. I didn't have any canned corn, so I've just thawed out some frozen ones. We only need probably 1/4 of a little red capsicum, 1 slice of celery, a couple of small tomatoes or 1 big tomato. We need 1 onion. We need a little bit of chilli powder and some cumin. You either have fresh garlic or the jar garlic, and a 400 gram tin of diced tomatoes, and 12 slices of bread. Alright, let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is make our tartlets. So you want to preheat your oven at 190 degrees Celsius. We need 2 6-hole Texas muffin trays. First thing we want to do is get ourselves out a rolling pin and some margarine. Okay, get our first slice of bread. Yep, you're in view. Alright, just slice off the crust. Now with a rolling pin, we want to just roll it flat. And then we want to butter it with some margarine. Try and get it as close to the edges as you want. You don't need heaps, but you definitely want to cover it properly. Okay, now we need a 9 centimetre round cutting ring. Basically, all I could find was this. All my little cutters I'm spewing, they're all too small, and they like had all the cute little edges on them, but you get that. So I found this. This was 9 centimetres. Basically, just try and find a couple, something that just fits in there. I don't know if that's going to cut it. Oh yeah, bit of force. Now I'm trying to get the bloody thing out. Okay, beautiful. Now that we've got it out, we want to get our tin, review there, and we want to put it buttered side down and try and get it in the middle. So if you have those little pretty cutters, the edges are all pretty, try and get it in the middle. Okay, like that. And you want to do that with all 12 slices. Yay, your tarts are ready to go in. Oh, I love doing this. I can't tell you how much I love doing this. Okay, so the oven has been preheated at 190 degrees. So I'm going to only do one at a time this because I've got a little oven. Now, I've written down up to 15 minutes, but I'm pretty sure the last time I made these was at the other house in a gas oven. So start looking at them after 10 minutes. All we want is them light brown. Alright, 15 minutes later. Now, clearly, these ones are a little bit too brown. So what I should have done is after about, I don't know, 7 minutes or so, I should have just turned it around to make them get them evenly. There's nothing wrong with them though, they're all still good. Just that one I would class as a little bit overcooked because we've still got to put them back in the oven later. So these sort here are absolutely perfect. You can't tell in this light anyway, they're perfect. Alright, so halfway through, turn the tray around. Yay! Forgot to say we need 2 tablespoons of chopped up coriander. We need 1 tablespoon to put into the mince and 1 to sprinkle on the top. Now if you don't like coriander, swap it out for parsley. Alright, so we're going to get the tomatoes, and what we want to do is we want to cut them up and seed them. So the best way to do that is just to cut them in quarters, just like I would an apple. Cut that one end off, cut it again, and then just get, oops, like a saw, and just get all the seeds out. Alright, do that with both of them. That's where your heartburn is, my friends, too. Alright, and then just chop them up nice and small, and we're going to set these aside. These is what we sprinkle over the top with the coriander once we've done them all. Alright, so just, yep, seed them, chop them. Oh, my coriander's still growing and it's still whittle, so I only got a tablespoon of fresh coriander, so I'm going to save that to sprinkle over the tops. And I've got some ground coriander seeds, so I'm just going to put a teaspoon of that into the mince mix instead of a tablespoon of fresh stuff. Alright, the next thing I want to do is want to get a celery stick, so I'll slice it 4 ways down here because I like it nice and small, okay? And then chop it up. I reckon that much of a red capsicum or red pepper. And we want to chop up the onion really, really small as well. Now we've chopped all that up. I've got the cases and I've put them all on a cookie tray. Now what I did is I just put the dark ones through the middle, so hopefully they'll be still good. Oh yeah, baby. Alright, set them aside so they're ready to go. Okay, now we want to get out a frying pan. Oh yeah, baby, let's do this. Alright, a little splash of olive oil. We want to add our onion, capsicum and celery. Add your 1 or 2, depending on how you like it, crushed garlic cloves, or 1 heaped teaspoon of the dark garlic, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander seeds, or your 1 tablespoon of fresh coriander chopped. Mix it all in, give it a couple of minutes for the onion to go see-through. Okay, now we add our mince. I'll just break it all up as I put it in, it's a lot easier that way. Oh mate, the aroma in this kitchen, it smells amazing with that cumin and that in there. Alright, so now we're just going to cook it for a couple of minutes and brown it off. Alright, now we've browned it off, we want to add our corn, 1/4 teaspoon of chilli powder. Oh yeah, baby! Woohoo! And our 400 gram can of diced tomatoes. Now we just want to cook it for a couple of minutes until it's all nice and thick and mixed in together. Okay, a couple of minutes later we've cooked most of the juice out. You don't want it dry, you still want a little bit of juice but you don't want it really, really runny. Now we want it to cool down to just warm. If we put them in the cases hot, it will make them a bit soggy, so we need it to like be lukewarm. So we're going to cool it down a bit. So the best thing to do is while that's cooling down a bit is preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius. And oh baby, we're almost there. Oh, these are so good for the footy, for little parties. They're just, or just to munch on with the kids when you got bugger all. They're just awesome. Mate, I wish you could smell what I'm smelling right now. Oh, they smell absolutely amazing. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to spoon the mixture into all the cases. Now, the brilliant thing about these is that you can make these all a day ahead of time. So if you want to make a boatload of them up. So what you do is you make all your cases up, and then once they're completely cold, you can put them in an airtight container and they'll be good for the next day. And the mint, you can cook it all up, and then once it's gone cold, put it in the fridge cupboard, and that'll be great for the next day. So what I normally do if I'm doing them a day ahead is that I'll get them out and I'll make them up like this, but then I'll leave it sitting, I'll leave it sitting on the bench like this while I heat up the oven. That way they can come up to room temperature so they're not cold from the fridge when you put them in the oven, because we're only going to put them in for 10 minutes, okay, just to make them all nice and hot. Probably won't need them for 10 minutes when we're doing it like this while it's still warm. So if you do it at room temperature first, the mince, by leaving them sitting aside while you're doing it, you won't have to do it for more than 10 minutes, because obviously the longer you do it, the harder the shells will get, so you don't want to, you know, do it heaps. So fill them all up. Alright, I'm going to make another 6 shells up after, because there's definitely enough filling left over there for, I reckon, another 6. So in the recipe below, I'll change it to 18 shells, not 12 shells, okay? Alright, once we've filled them right up like that, right up as high as you can, we want to put a little bit of raw tomato on the top of them all that we cut up before. Okay, so 1 small tomato cut up would be plenty. I can't believe there's that much mix left over. Gee, it's been a while. Well, that's great anyway. I mean, 18 of them, that's awesome. Okay, now we get a little bit of coriander and we just put it over the top of them. Oh, look at that, they're so cute. Alright, now we're going to bang them in the oven for up to 10 minutes. We just want to get them nice and hot and crispy. Boom. 6 minutes later, because they're warm already, remember? You've got something really cool. 18 of these little bad boys. Do not go wrong anywhere. Depending on how big your mouth is, 1 or 2 mouthfuls. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Have an awesome day. You know me. I'll be back. Bye.